Watch me flex my flow, you'll be the next to know. Spit it hot flambeau, swing them bars like whoa. Grab the remote control, must have called a million times, I'm on the other side, hello. Better watch that stream, caught up in the tractor beam. Scrub that beat with bleach, so when I hit it, bro, I spit it clean. Burn it now, have to turn the furnace down. Y'all don't want this beef, I hit them with a holy cow. Hit them with the verse, got them thinking, wow. This ain't a game, kid, why you play around? This that ill spit, them bars are so sick. I'll shock the whole world, anaphylactic. Every single time I spit another rhyme, the planets all align so bright I blind them with my shine. Bro, I'm designed to make your confidence decline. Every line about to blow like stepping on a landmine. Here we go. Here we go.
What is going on? We are coming back from the Brian DeClaire Memorial Race. What an epic time. I hope that you guys all enjoyed yourself as well. Jonathan in the house, Noah in the house. Man, it was shaping up to be one heck of an epic event. And unfortunately, you know how it goes. Mother Nature actually kicked our butts, and you know what? It was still good. Greg, what is going on? Jason, Brandon, Marshall in the house. What's going on, guys? So, as you guys know, we're going to have a special guest on board. It's going to be none other than the new Team Tekin manager, Jared. And we're going to have him on board in a bit. Hey, babe. Chad, what's up, bud? So basically what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about our local race first. It was a doozy with just under 170 entries. Oh, yeah. No, Matt, for sure, it was definitely fun. Adam is lucky we didn't run. Dude, SCT was unbelievable. Yes, it was definitely still fun. Matt Dixon, what is going on, bud? Yeah, no, SCT was a blast, utterly a blast. The one thing that I will say is that we were definitely swerking it. Let me just get the comments up here so I can have them on board as well. There we go. Want to make sure. Douglas was on fire. Douglas. And Noah, you had to bring up Douglas. Jeez Louise. He's the reason why this is not yellow. This says second place, 4x4 short course, just because that kid showed up. Noah, is anybody going to be able to beat Douglas? That's my question. I want to see who can try and beat Douglas for the win because, man, that kid is definitely killing it. What's up, Coop? Now, see, had Douglas not been in there, it could have been me, Coop, and Mike, battling it out like men. But no, we had to have the Wonder Boy, Douglas Schufeld, in the house, relegating me to second overall. This thing's the champ. It's got the Otter Cup. This thing is all Tekin powered. We're gonna segue into it. We'll definitely bring Jared on board when he's ready. We got the Tekin graphics. We got the Tekin manager. We got some cool photos to show you. We're going to give them a little bit of time, and I'm going to show off what a championship ride looks like. Look at that view. It's running the Tekin 250 servo. It's got the 4600 kV motor. That bad boy was enough power to get me in trouble. Running off of the RX-8 Gen 3, and this battery, I was not scared of a 10-minute main. This battery had tons of jam. This is their 8400, and You want to talk about tons of jam? It was pulling for days. Like I said, I was not scared to go the full 10 minutes in the main. Would have been good. The short course truck that Douglas ran on mine is a 6-year-old truck with 6-year-old speed control motor in it. Dude, it's super capable. I just remember what Ryan did with the exact same truck. That truck is literally no joke. Oh man, dude, I was looking forward to the main. But these trophies are super creative. Whoever's idea it was, I think it was Brandon's. But if you look, I actually have the original because when I first was running short course back in the day, it was the Brian DeClaire Memorial emblem. So for him to pull off these as trophies, they're amazing. Like I'm like super. I'm happy I got one. First of all, second of all, I think that second is a new first because of our young gun in there. Like I want somebody to freaking challenge Douglas. When I pull up these numbers and you guys see the actual numbers that this kid was pulling off, yeah, they're sick, man. I'm loving them. Definitely loving them. Coop. Steve, what's up? Steve, dude, I didn't even know you had a faster brother than you. He'd be out there kicking your butt. I just found that out. Brandon and I. Oh, dude, whoever came up with these trophies, awesome. Like, obviously, second isn't as cool to show off. We're going to have Douglas on the show, Ovs, to show off any first place trophy. This kid swept every single class for a $40 donation. OMG. Oh, the food? Yeah. The food at Calasante's never disappoints. They got the roasted chicken. They got the homemade cinnamon donuts. They got the apple cider. And right now, kind of sliding into fall, not a bad combo if you ask me. He's slow now. Yeah, right, Steve. But I didn't know you had a fast brother. That was super cool. It was cool. We were hanging out in the S-Works Canada pits. I learned a whole bunch about your brother, dude. Fab Bet was awesome. We had all of the fast guys. I think I know one man that can beat Douglas running SCT. If it's Doug Henry, I raced both of them, and you know what? I honestly don't feel that anybody has a shot at Douglas. So before we bring Jared on board, I just want to show off these crazy results. Like I said, just under 170 entries. The weather scared a lot of people away. And let's pray in 2023 that the Brian DeClaire Memorial Race is as badass as it needs to be because they put in the work, they put in the effort, they did an amazing job with the track. But hey, Jonathan, I raced both Dave Henry and Douglas now in 4x4 short course, and I gotta say that I keep saying it that Douglas could probably beat me with my lunch bag. I now truly believe it. He put on a clinic. Okay, so we're going to do the top 5 real quick, and then we're going to bring on the new Tekin manager, and we'll go through these real quick. So top 5 only. If you weren't in the top 5, you're probably not getting mentioned today. So Baby Truggy, and I love that they were playing the Baby Truggy song. This class is starting to pick up popularity. But you got number 1, Matt Abaj, just killing it. You bring Dakota Fenn back to beat him in SCT. Yeah, Dakota Fenn would definitely have something to say in 4x4 short course. Definitely. Number 2, you got the Haymaker, Rick Hay. Number 3, Brandon Marshall. Number 4, Craig. And number 5, Braden, bringing out the top 5. 10 scale, 2-wheel drive buggy. This is another super popular class out at the Spark Raceway. The Spark Raceway is a very 10 scale friendly track, got to admit, But 10th scale, two-wheel drive buggy was Curtis up front, Fireball number 2. You got Wolf in the number 3 spot, Andre in the 4, and Donkers, the only one still running a two-wheel drive rear motor, non-mid motor, rear motor, and hanging with the top guys. Awesome to see. Two-wheel drive stadium truck. Now, this was another cool one because there was a few nostalgic guys coming back running nitro-powered little trucks. Like, they didn't have enough to run their own class, unfortunately, but holy cool. Oh, my God. So cool to see. So, number 1, Curtis again. Number 2, Oliver. Oliver, if he gets some good gear, you guys got to look out because Oliver's doing it with, I think it's a plastic tub stadium. I thought that was a classic kit sitting on his pit stand, and that's what he was racing. And for him to be in second overall, I give him a huge thumbs up. Awesome run. Number 3, Monty Wolf. And then, E-Wolf is it Ellie Wolf? I think it's Corey Wolf's daughter. So Corey Wolf's daughter stepping it up into the A main. Awesome to see. And then Craig Albertine rounding out the top 5. Actually, Craig was on fire this weekend too. Going into the 4x4 wheeler class. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's an RC10 T4. Like, I'd never even seen a dude, this thing was wide. It was nasty looking, and he was still wheeling the hell out of it. So Douglas is so fast with the short course that he broke. I kept teasing him all weekend long. I'm going to loosen his wheel nuts. And when he lost the wheel, I was like, oh my God, I hope he doesn't think it was me. It was definitely funny. Wolfie. Is Corey Wolf. Okay. All right. Wolfie is Corey Wolf. All right. So his daughter is still getting faster, but it is definitely okay. Corey. All right. So going into the two-wheel drive short course, you got Corey up top, Fireball, Roger, and Audrey. So there's Audrey stepping it up into the A main. 4x4 short course. I just got to say this. This kid took a short course and TQ'd everybody on the property with the 4x4 short course. He TQ'd over e-buggies, over nitro buggies, over e-truggies, over nitro truggies with a 4x4 short course. That's what he did. Not only did he put a clinic on, let's face it, you guys didn't want me to win. I get it. I totally get it. Me and Coop were going to put on this show. We ran away with it, and it was going to be a fun battle. And then you threw in the ringer. Douglas actually put on a clinic. I tried doing what Douglas was doing with the short bus, the way he was kind of cutting the corner, and I don't even want to say, it was a thing of beauty. The way he was downsiding and cutting the corner, I tried it 3 times, dude. I can't believe I didn't break my short course. It was so cool how he was sticking that land. Yeah, Coop, dude, it was amazing. And the back far right section where he was doing the step up to step down and hitting it on the angle too. Oh my God. It was how the kid was doing it lap after lap. His consistency was 98% consistent, but he was 98% consistent at a ridiculous speed. I was surprised my dad was able to pull a backflip with the short course. Dude, yeah. If it was planned, that was sick, but he definitely surprised a few people pulling that backflip as well. It was definitely super cool. All right, so we'll get to the top 5 here and get Jared on board. So first place, obviously, Douglas Schufeld, super fast kid. I was relegated to number 2, Coop in the 3, my buddy Mike Moore in the 4, and then Jonathan crushing it, rounding out the top 5. Definitely a stacked group in the 4x4 short course. Then in the E Truggy, we had S Works in the number 1 spot. We had Corey in the number 2. S Works again with Andrew Blakely in the 3. Number 4, we had Coop. And number 5 was Dennis Mayville. But definitely some cool action in the S Works group there. It was kind of cool hearing the young kids talking about the E Truggy, because Johnny and Andrew, man, they are the next generation, and they were flying. Like, literally, like, it was awesome to see them battling it out. We're going to save Buggy, so we'll get to Nitro Truggy. So, Nitro Truggy, we had Monty Wolf up top. His program is what got him to that spot, and he definitely deserves it. Teflon, he had Tommy G freaking helping him out. You can't have a better pit guy other than Tommy G when you're running TLR. You had Rick Hay, solid run for him in the top 3. And then Johnny Rocket, first time running Nitro, and he did not disappoint, putting it in the number 4 spot. Now, the thing with the Nitro, I was in the race before. He was in the race before. His dad was marshaling. We had Douglas trying to get this thing fired. He didn't realize that you had to get it warmed up before the start of the race. So we were flying blind. The poor kid was blowing smoke like you wouldn't believe the first 2 minutes till it finally warmed up. But he didn't have to refuel because he just got it out in time, and he was full send. So had we actually had some support for this kid, look out, because he is coming. I'm telling you. He won E-Truggy, and now to be in a contending spot in Nitro Truggy with his first time out, having no clue what the hell we were doing, it was just so much fun. It was literally full send. Douglas was on the screwdriver, just tweaking here and there, giving him 4 hours at a time. I'm telling you, guys, it was a show. Having Douglas supporting Ronnie was, oh my God, it was awesome. And you know what? It made both of their weekends, not only for Douglas tuning it for him, but just seeing Johnny's like face, knowing he was going to make it to the 30-minute main. It was, dude, it was going to be epic. So we'll get into Nitro Buggy now. So Nitro Buggy, we'll do the top 6 here, just because I'm biased like that. But top 5, Douglas Schufeld, no question about how fast this guy was in Nitro. Only one to hit a 13-lapper. He did it twice, too. Round 1 and round 3. And how he was able to pull it off in round 3 after the track developed character, I have no clue. Because everybody else dropped significantly, and he tried to reset TQ, was off by like about 10 seconds. But, man, the kid's a machine. Tommy G, number 2. Monty, another solid run with his Nitro program. He has the whole package. He is definitely swinging for the fences. Rick Endler in the 4. Mr. VRC, Andrew Bakar, snuck by me and bumped me out of the top 5. So kudos to him. He was having the weirdest issue ever. His car on the stand would be completely free. You put it on an angle, and all of a sudden, it would actually, like the brakes were on. He was finally able to figure it out. And what it is, when you screw in the brakes on a Nitro car, they're spring loaded, and they actually have to slide and return on the shaft of the screw where there's no threads. There was a little burr on one of the screws, not allowing the brake to fully disengage. And how this guy figured it out just blew me away. Huge testament to like why he's a fast guy. Like, geez Louise, I'd still be working on it right now. And I probably still wouldn't even know what the heck it was. All right. So the biggest class, the most amount on the property, 46 e-buggies on the property. And surprise, surprise, Douglas, is in the number one spot. Not only is he in the number one spot, there was only one other person to get a 13 lapper, John Blakely running S-Works, got to say. But Douglas put on a clinic all 3 times. If he didn't have to contend with traffic, he would have did a 14 lapper with the e-buggy. Very impressive. Then we got Fab. Fab is new to the S-Works, and holy hell, did he come out of the gate swinging. I think he listened a little bit too much to Andrew Bukar, so we're going to have to try and slow him down. Jeff Boulay in the 4th spot. He is typically the fastest S-Works buggy on the property at all times, so he did not disappoint. And having the team at my home track, I'm not going to lie, put the pressure on this old guy. And you guys actually came to the pits while I was helping Nathan and the kids and told me, do this, do that, do that. And by golly, I listened because I had enough time, and it worked. For me to be in the top 5, I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm a solid B guy, so for me to make this show, couldn't be more happy with the program and couldn't be more stoked with the team. But speaking of team, okay, I'm going to talk about one more stupid thing before I bring him on because we're going to get into the Team Tekin manager here. But one more thing. Okay, 4x4 short course. He ran a 13.509. So that only got beat by him in round 2 with a 13.506 with his e-buggy. That means he beat every single other person with a 4x4 short course. Just saying. Just think about that for a second. 2-cell, 4-wheel drive short course, beating all the 8-scale nitro, buggy, truggy, everything. Everything. Kids just amazing. But yes, John, I think it was an S-Works domination this weekend. And you definitely have the new party spot, John. The whole thing is phenomenal. I love what you did with the place. And it was cool to see you out there having fun and not having to worry about too much as well. Okay, so I actually have a special guest waiting in the backgrounds. So we are going to bring him on board. I'm just going to hide this for a quick sec. We got a little something special for him, but here we go. We're going to bring him on board and see what he has to say with his new position.
Hey, there he is.
Show, big guy.
What's going on? Good. Thanks for having me back.
Oh, dude, it's all my pleasure. Now, I gotta say, getting this position is a kind of a big deal, and congratulations, man. It's definitely well deserved.
Thank you very much. I'm super excited about it. I still can't believe it's actually real. It's one of those things that takes a minute to sink in, and I'm just amazed that I was even considered, let alone selected. So really excited about it. Want to thank Jim and Ty and all the Campbell family for believing in me for this opportunity, and we're gonna keep on moving forward, man. I can't wait.
Oh no, definitely going to be epic, and I know now that we got you locked in for the next Nitro Blast. We're going to have you on the mic. We're going to have the whole Team Tekin thing. Jim and Ty actually said because the event has grown in popularity, and I don't know if you dropped the word to them or something like that, but they want to send some prizes. So we'll actually have a pretty cool thing that you know what? They've been fantastic supporters throughout the entire career that I've had. And I was just a customer beforehand and was blessed enough to be a part of the team. And now I feel even more proud to be on the team, knowing you're a manager and going to be looking after us guys, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks, man. It's funny. I'd only mentioned that, I love Otterville and I love, John and Carla and the whole facility. And apparently that was enough of a cue for them to kind of look into it further, which is a good thing. It's really cool to be able to send some prizes along. And, be little. It could be things as little as like the lanyards or the lipo bag or things like that. Or we'll see what we can do with that. But I appreciate you doing the legwork as well. So
Yeah, even what's in the cup, man. Like there's like some cool Tekin stuff. And you know what? The garb, everybody loves the shirts. You're rocking one right now. I like the classic ones and stuff like that. And they're just like they're stepping it up in so many ways. But we actually have some questions, and some of them, honestly, I don't even know the answer. I'm so happy you know things about on road because I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, I got into it. I put my toe in there, and I listened to what the fast guys were running. So, right off the hop, the one thing that everybody was asking, what is the best setup that you can get for a 12 scale?
oh man, I'll tell you, it's obviously you want to get yourself a CRC chassis, Calandra Racing
Okay.
Concept. The most current car is the CK25. So we've done a few things to it. CK25 AR is the newest version. It's got the new aluminum rear pivot. Really nice design where you're taking away the old plastic football design. It's a nice pivot ball style now where it's really cool. It works where the it's almost like a floating rear pivot where the ball will actually kind of pivot in and out of like a joint socket. And
Okay.
that we were able to design that a lot less rear bind. It seems to be a lot harder to tweak. So it should be really cool to have that. Then you just get yourself a full Team Tekin lineup, man. They have the smaller profile servos like the T120. That would be a good candidate for a mini servo. I always set myself up with a Tekin RS Pro 1S speed control and get yourself a good 17.5 or 13.5 motor depending on what you need for your class. I know GT12 is running 21.5s now, and whatever you can get, man. Anything you want to run, you want to make sure you got red on there. So,
And now the one thing that I like, I ordered my 1S Tekin speed control. I had to get the US GT motor or whatever because it's the spec motor for the GT12 class. It's going to be my first time running one cell anything. And does Tekin actually have a one cell battery?
yes, Tekin has been coming out with some new batteries, the new power cells, and
Yes,
we've
I
done some
definitely like them.
good testing with them. We actually have gotten them out to the public here for a few of our Opel guys, and I've heard really good things.
Nice.
Everything is really positive so far. Everybody likes them. They got tons of power. They seem plenty durable enough. So I mean, there's plenty of options. But for right now, you're going to want to get yourself a one cell pack. I don't see it listed on the store website right now, but I do know there is one. There is one in production. I have to confirm what it is, but there is one coming.
Okay, I no, because I've seen chatter. But I wasn't 100% sure because I'm running the 4 cell for the kids in their buggies and truggies. Dynamite. I've been running the 8400s in my short course since I came out of retirement with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not scared to run 10 minutes. I'm not at all. Like I'll rock that thing for 10 minutes straight. For the 5-minute stints, I can bump it up to pretty much whatever in the heck I can put down traction wise, and that battery is taking it for days. This has been great. So you got that set up. You're good there. Now, for touring car, I ended up going with the RS Black Edition. I've heard nothing but great things for that, and also mating it with the 21.5. Now, my question, because I'm like still reading up on it and stuff like that, should I switch the rotor in my 21.5?
It's so the 21.5 you're talking about is open motor, correct, or is it the USGT?
It's the Tekin 21.5 actually, the Gen 3.
Gotcha. Yeah, we've seen a lot of good things with the new silver rotor. Really strong Gauss numbers. I would definitely recommend getting one of those just to try it back and forth.
Okay, that is sick. So,
Sure.
oh, Jonathan, you beat me to it, bud. So Jonathan's question is the RSX Pro. It is still available, definitely, and with the 5.5 in a wheeler, I think that would be a lethal combo. And I guess is it always better to have a smaller turn motor? Because like I typically run a 6.5. 5.5, yeah, I can see. But like, do you feel that you can just tweak it in the software enough that you could still get away with all that power?
It really is. It's just dependent on your track size, really. I mean, I've never been a huge believer in that you need to have a 5.5 or you need to have a 6.5. It really is
Mm-hmm.
dependent on what's most comfortable for you. Now,
Okay.
I know obviously the barnyard you guys usually race it indoors is a pretty good sized track. I remember if I was talking to Douglas, and again, I'm trying to brush up on my 10 scale knowledge here, but I thought he ran either a 6.5 or a 7.5, and he said that was plenty of power. But it just depends on what you feel is best. There's a lot of cases where if the track's small enough and there's really no, difference maker jumps, sometimes some guys like 13.5 just because it's easier to drive and you can utilize more of the power band instead of just feathering it the whole time. So it really is dependent on what you like. And obviously, as you and Jonathan had mentioned, you kind of go back and forth between speed controls based on your needs. If you're going to run a stock class, I think the RS Pro Black Edition is the way to go. Just that
Yeah.
super low internal resistance. But that RSX is a beast. That thing will handle anything you throw at it. And you can't go wrong with whatever option you select there.
I couldn't agree more. Now, I know when I was doing testing, you can't see it because we're sharing the screen, but I got my drag car back there, and we were actually doing testing with a 2.5 turn motor on the Black Edition, and I could only run two flats, so I wasn't able to get it to like where a few of the factory drivers were getting it because they were running sub 2 second passes with their drag setups,
Good.
and they were running the 2.5s. They were sharing me all their tunes and everything that they were doing. I couldn't put the power down. Like it's not like I didn't have the power. It's just I couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
But now's a different story. I got the new D motor, and I cannot wait to get it soldered up to my RX-8 because, as some of you guys may or may not know, they now unlock all the capabilities on the RX-8 Gen 3 specific for drag racing. So there is a little disclaimer there, and I want to put it out there that if you do enable it and you solder the two circuit boards together in your combo and try and send it back to Tekin, they know that you put this software on there and they can actually see the history. So I'm just doing a full disclaimer because Tekin has the best customer support in the business, hands freaking down. But I do want to put that disclaimer out there. If you melted them together because of an aggressive tune and smoke it in under 1.7 seconds, that's probably what you did, not a manufacturing defect. Just saying. Just saying. All right. So is Tekin working on fixing the problem with the post coming loose on the ESC? So one of the things that I have seen about the post coming loose on the ESC is sometimes it could be a manufacturer defect. And I'm not saying that there isn't manufacturer defects, but some of the things that I have seen that I would like to help people out with is the soldering technique. I'm actually going to share Ty's video because Ty Campbell does a fantastic video on how to do it properly. Having the right temperature on your soldering gun is crucial. Having a clean tip. I don't understand how people try and solder with like cake and junk and all that on their tip. You got to have a clean tip. Number 3, you want to make sure you use good solder. If you don't have good solder, you could be adding extra heat to compensate. And that extra heat, if you're holding it on the post for an extended period of time, the heat's going to run down that post and get to the connection on the board. Now, if you're doing it for more than just a few seconds, because what you want to do is you want to use new solder on the wire. You want a new solder on the actual post. And when you put the two together, it's just a few seconds. You don't need a lot of time. It's going to get together and it's going to have that perfect connection and not be a cold solder because you got to look out for that too. But if you start with a clean prep surface and you have the right tools for the job, you should have no issues. I love clean tips. Me too, Brandon. But no, definitely the one guy that I know that can fix that locally without having to send it in for Tekin to actually cover it is Jeff Boulay. Jeff Boulay has done an amazing job getting people going. and he has the high powered solder gun to do that, because you do need a little bit more jam than just your typical track power in order to get a proper fix for that connector to the board. So just be careful with that one. But great question, Kat. So I'm looking at the new TC21.5 motor, Chris. So if you're just tuning in, Chris, that's a great question. That's the one that I just asked him. I'm running the new 21.5 as well, and I think that I'm going to take Jared's advice, and I'm going to order the silver rotor. I've heard some chatter about it, and I've heard nothing but good things, so I think I'm going to take the dive, because we are getting close to indoor on-road. I got 2 more outdoor seasons, or sorry, not seasons left, races left, and then we're going to hit it hard. But no, great question, Chris. So, oh, Rick Endler too. Yeah, sorry, I forgot about Rick Endler. Yes, Rick Endler has the capability to do that as well. He's an old school guy, so he definitely has the correct tools to get the proper temperature. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the temperature is. I just know that it's extremely hot to get that. It's even a different solder that Tekin uses in order to get those to the board. So be very careful if you are trying to do that on your own. Yeah, no, Chris, definitely PM me, hit me up. We're going to be launching the Tekin store on the S-Works site in 2023. So I'm super stoked about that. Jim has been awesome and given me an opportunity to do that, and I couldn't be happier to be able to offer all the sweet Tekin electronics to you guys at all the events. I think it's going to be an awesome combo with the S-Works bunch. So here we go. So do you find on-road or off-road more challenging?
Sweet. Well, Brandon Marshall's on the stream. That's cool. Good to see you guys all joining in. Thanks for tuning in. Just want to say thanks, Adam, for kind of segueing those couple of points for me while I was just kind of sitting here trying to smile at night.
No problem, bud. No problem. I seen you were busy.
Yeah, no problem. So Brandon, I wanted to give you your credit here. I gotta say they're both challenging in their own ways. I feel like when it comes to on road, I think your line choice is much more dependent. Obviously, any mistakes are much more fatal. Not just because they're smaller and more fragile cars, but because there's very little margin for error when it comes to 12 scale racing in an 8-minute field. Especially in a stock class where you're, starved for power as it is. But when it comes to off-road, you have the whole new variable of jumping and landing. The track conditions change wildly. You have to deal with weather. There's certain things that in off-road that really happen that aren't in your control, such as, the one cloud in the sky going over the racetrack, or, a random shower coming through and messing up your tire choice. So it's kind of a tough thing for me to answer, because I love them both, and I think they're both very challenging as it is. In their own ways. But I do believe if I'm going to give the nod to anything, I think off-road is the more difficult of the two in terms of trying to run it at the very highest level. There's not just because the competition is so stiff, but because you're dealing with all those factors that you have to kind of roll with the punches on. There's a lot more things that on-road with preparation you can combat a lot of those things. But when it comes to off-road, there's a lot of things you kind of have to adapt as you get there. So that's kind of how I feel.
That's awesome. Like, I'm surprised because, is it because you're so freaking fast at on road? Is that why? Because dude, killing it on road. That's for sure.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that so my head doesn't blow up. But no, it's because they're challenging in their own way. Because carpet is just 100% traction. You're working to get the cars up out of the track so that they're nice and free, but you don't want them to be loose where you're actually spinning out. It's a very fine line you walk when you race on road, and really kind of the same in off road. But in off road, you're looking more for the comfort factor. And when you're dealing with the big jumps like that, you're not just working on how the car corners. You have to compensate for how it jumps and lands as well. And it just comes down to when the track gets blown out and there's a bunch of holes and craters and things that happen, like a random wind gust can kick you 5 feet wide on a jump. There's just a lot more factors in off road that can not just mess you up, but just kind of throw you a curveball that you have to adapt to as you go through the race.
I definitely feel that that on road is more of a challenge for me. And I think what it is, and it shows, you have to know setup. If you go to on road from off road, if you can't carry corner speed, you're not going to have as good of a time. Because I know for me, some of the things that I get away with off road is the point and shoot method. Whereas in on road, if you're not carrying that corner speed, geez Louise, I definitely think it's tough. So we got. I didn't say that they're. I can't say that they're slow because you got Douglas Schufeld running it. But what buggy is Jared recommending?
Well, yeah.
I'm biased.
Yeah, Matt's totally new to racing. Yeah, that's a funny one.
I know.
I mean, I like my techno cars. In fact, I have 2 brand new 2.1s sitting at my house, just sitting there chilling until the spring. So I'm happy to have my new kits already. It's kind of a weight off my shoulders, and I get to stare at the box for a few months and just get excited for off road again. So
nice. So my wife's chiming in here. What do you think is going to be the most challenging thing for you becoming the new Tekin team manager?
well, good to see Tammy on the stream as well. And Tammy was the one that blew my cover at Otterville. First of all, I was about to get out of there without those guys knowing it was my birthday. So,
awesome. Okay. For that.
Blew my cover, and I was like, I didn't want to tell anybody. It's not a big deal. And she's like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? So thank you, Tammy, for the birthday serenading, and Carla for the piece of banana bread. It was awesome.
Good times with good people.
Yeah. To answer Tammy's question, I really don't know about the most challenging thing because I'm still kind of new to it. It's kind of a first for me. I do think that the rush of contracts like renewals and new applicants at the end of the year is going to be pretty tough. But it's something that I've luckily have help with. The West manager is Chris Wheeler, good buddy, and he's also very capable of the job he's doing. So luckily it's going to be divvied up between the both of us. But I think really the tough thing for me is going to be, I would love for everybody on the team to have 100% sponsorships. I would love to do that, but I have to also think on the business side and think of where people slot in and where they qualify. I just have to give it a very honest look, and that's not that's not meant in any bad connotation to anybody that applies. It's just giving a very honest assessment of where they would fit into the to the percentage tiers. I think that's going to be tough because I have so many good friends that I would love to give them all free stuff, but it's just not possible as a business. So that's going to be tough.
I definitely can agree with that because the amount of fun that we're going to have in the silly season, I think, is going to be super cool.
I agree. I do agree. I think it's a crazy silly season. I mean, there's rumors swirling all about where people are going, and I'm excited to see where it ends up. I hope that I hope that it's in favor of Team Tekin, but you just never know until things are made official. Obviously, I'm in talks with anybody that's looking to join the team, but it just comes down to where people end up and if people are staying or if people are going. But in terms of Tekin, I feel pretty dang good about how our situation's looking right now.
Yes, one of the guys that I really enjoy picking his brain, and he's so friendly and down to earth, is Lutz. He's like such an approachable guy for what he has on his plate. It boggles my mind, and such an ambassador for the Tekin brand too. Like he helped me out at a big US event, and I actually had to like tuck my tail between my legs, go back to him and ask him to slow my stuff down. Like I was like, this is crazy, bud. It was awesome. Okay, so obviously Tammy said, you're welcome, it's what we do. And then Abaj is like, where do I send my not so good resume? And then Jonathan Hilton, here we go. So favorite class to race and race and where?
Oh, that's a good one, Jonathan. And he's going to hit me with this difficult question because I love everywhere I go. I'm very, very grateful and very blessed to be able to travel all over the place, including seeing you guys up in Canada. I wish it was more often, but I definitely will be back. I plan to, if John Blakely's still watching, I'm
He
really
is.
going to try to actually race a couple of Otter Cup races. So here we go. I'm going to try. But when it comes down to what I like to race, I have to answer this with multiple suggestions because I just love everything that I do. I really love racing 8 scale, obviously. I think my favorite places to do it would be CRC Raceway in Rome and LCRC Raceway in Oakland Mills, PA. Those are my top 2 favorite tracks by far. And obviously, when I start racing more in O-Town, that'll be right there in the top 3. So those are my top 3 for sure in terms of 8 scale. I'm a bit of an electric fanboy. I really like electric for the instantaneous power and the torque, but I do love me some nitro too. So I plan to run 3 classes next year at bigger events that I go to. I ran a little bit of e-truggy at the Race Against Cancer last weekend at LCRC, and I got hooked again. I hadn't done it in a couple of years, and I forgot how fun it was. So,
Rocking the old school body, man, just like my kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know the bruggy body is the trend, but I had a lead finger body that just looks so nice, and I said, you know what, I just want to have fun with this, and the truck just looks better with a truck body, in my opinion. Maybe I'll get some backlash for not going with the trend or whatever, but I like this traditional style truck body. I think it just looks cooler. I think it doesn't make it look like a 7th scale buggy. It makes it actually look like a truck.
I agree 100%. It's weird because I actually gave the new LFR body, bruggy bodies for my kid to Brandon to be painted so he can have his own paint scheme and all that stuff. But I love the one hit wonder, like the actual trucks, man. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's no disrespect to a bruggy body. Everybody's got their own tastes, and just depends on what they like. But that's just to answer part 1. Sorry, I'm getting off track. I have a lot of things.
It's good. It's good.
The second thing is I love 12 scale on road. Obviously, my home track for that is CRC Raceway in Rome, New York, as well. In terms of the like a big venue I like to race at or a big track, I love 360 V2 in New Rochelle, New York. That's Donnie Leah's track down near New York City. And my favorite big event in terms of racing it is a close one. But I really, really love the U.S. Indoor Championships in Cleveland. That's in the Embassy Suites Hotel in Cleveland, New York. Or Cleveland, Ohio, rather. And it's pretty awesome. I think it just gives it that big race feel. It really is the most serious, kind of intense feeling when you're pitting in the ballroom and you can hear the sound of a pin drop. You can just tell people are like serious. They're ready to go. A close second would be the former Canadian Nats racetrack where they were at the Seaway Mall. I know Mr. Frichette's looking for a new spot there, so I'm sure whatever he does with Mike Wilson will be awesome. But in terms of my favorite, venues to race at, I'd say 360 V2, which I'm going to the NYGP in 2 weeks, and then obviously Cleveland for the U.S. Indoor Champs are my favorites. And one more. I love racing Carpet Oval. Carpet Oval is awesome. I love doing that. I love racing the open modified cars with the full Tekin power plant. And I love doing that, obviously, at our home racetrack, the PRW Special Events Center, where we have the snowbird-sized track. And racing it at the Snowbirds is pretty awesome, too. So 3-part answer there, Jonathan. But I'm an RC nut. I love it all. And I'm very lucky to be able to do as much of it as I do. And it's due to companies like CRC and Techno and Tekin and everybody else that make it happen for me. So I appreciate it.
I just got to throw it in. We're actually hoping to go to the Ohio race, like with the kids, to run USGT. I think that it would be super cool for the kids. I love that we have access to a room. You're right in the hotel. Everything seems like it's the perfect family vacation for us. So
yeah, it is cool.
I'm super excited about it. I wait till you see me run on road. You're gonna love it. You're gonna be like, I'm getting that guy 100%. But okay,
I'm not much of a touring car guy, so I don't know if I can help you there, but I'll do whatever I can with the electronics and get you running goods. So we'll do it.
Yeah, I'd be good for the solid G main there. I heard there's a lot of entries, but Mr. Blakely, many times he has thought about trying Tekin, but have not been confident about jumping on board full send. Can you change his mind?
Well, I could try. First of all, I want to thank John Blakely for tuning in. He is one of my top favorite people in the whole wide world, and I am so honored to have the title of announcer and race director for the Nitro Blast National. One of my absolute favorite races of all time. It's just so cool because it's on the long Canadian holiday. And
Yep.
I don't care. I'll stay all night long. And we ran so many races this year where, it was a well-run program and we still finished at like 9 o'clock on Sunday night. It was late and it was dark when we finished. And I thought that was just such a cool race. I really enjoyed it. So not to not to kiss up to Blakely, but it's so cool, and I can't wait to do it again next year, hopefully for many years to come, because I look forward to that race every year. I'm going to try my best to convince you, John. I mean, I'm going to use this at my own expense. I am so abusive and hard on equipment. And in the over 3 years that I've run Tekin, I've had one speed control go bad on me, and it was all my fault. I was at Mugen Challenge a couple of years ago at LCRC, and I was trying to jump the big quad where you could try and make up about half a second. I was going for a spot on the last lap of like the B main, because that was the year that all the pros went when there was no 10 scale nationals that year because of COVID. And I cased it so hard. It was like, boom, it sounded like a gunshot went off. And the speaker, and of course the board blew, and I didn't even send it in. I'm like, I deserve that one. I'm just gonna buy a new one. So that was before I became sponsored by Tekin, but it was pretty funny. So John, the equipment runs awesome. The servos are really good. I think that's one thing that's a kind of a diamond in the rough that people don't understand is everybody loves their Savox or their MKS or whatever they run, but these Tekin servos are just awesome. They're so smooth. There's no center to them, so you can center them wherever you want on the hot wire. And there's a lot of things you can do in terms of adjusting the feel and the soft start. And there's a lot of cool things you can tune on the hot wire if you have that plugged in your computer. So the servos are fantastic. The speed controls, in my opinion, have such a good low throttle feel. I think the curve that they have on there is spot on. But Ty does have some custom throttle profiles on the newest version hot wire where you can actually mess with certain profiles and load them in there and see how they feel. Yeah. And the data logging is so cool because you can see exactly what was happening during your run. And that's really useful for an on-road or an oval guy when they're tracking their voltage throughout the run. And they can see if there's any spikes in RPMs, especially like an oval racer. That's when they can say, oh, there was wheel spin there. I was actually getting loose off the corner. And they can notice that there was a spike in RPM. So there's a lot of cool features to them. I love all the products. Jim and Ty and the whole team are super awesome in terms of, taking care of you. Obviously, like you had mentioned earlier, Adam, they have a great warranty and a customer service process. It's kind of a two-way street. If you have an honest mechanical failure and you had soldered properly and you weren't taking 10 drag race poles at a time and trying to send it back in for warranty, if you're honest about things when you send them in, and the data logs show that you weren't just abusing the crap out of things, Tekin is absolutely the move, in my opinion, and I would definitely encourage it. And John, if there's anything that I can do otherwise to help convince you, inbox is always open, my friend.
There you go. Attaboy. I would love to see him taking the dive for sure. But I definitely know that Jonathan got his taste of it after a while. And yeah, using the T300, dude, especially in an 8 scale, you will not have any issues with the T300 at all. I'm running the 250 in my short bus, and you've seen how – I don't know how I didn't break it trying to catch Douglas.
Full send, man. You send that thing.
No, this weekend, Jared, it was even worse because he – I was following him. Well, I should have just put a freaking hook on him so I could stay with him. But I was even in the same line. I felt like I was – like I jumped out of the track. Like, that's how fast this kid he's just on another level, bud. Like, I couldn't do anything. Nobody could have done anything to stop that kid. It's super cool to see him at that level.
He's incredible. I got to take a couple of side comments here. First of all, you gave me plenty of shine at the start of the show, but I wanted to shout you out for your Otter Cup championship. That is awesome in 4-wheel drive short course, and that was well earned, my friend. You did a great job. So really proud of you for that one. That's super cool. And I'm glad that you were able to get your cool graphic made up, because that's really neat. I'm sure you got that as your screensaver on your computer. So
oh heck yeah, man! When Ty said it was ready, I was like, oh sweet.
Yeah, I mean that's so cool, and that's one thing that Ty and I have been discussing a lot is, when you shout out the drivers, it makes everybody feel good. It's good vibes, good PR, it's all good things, and I think that we should keep doing more of that. And if you keep wheeling it, man, you're going to keep getting more graphics made like that. So shout out to you, first of all. And I just want to shout out Douglas Schufelt, first of all. I'm not sure if he's online here, but Douglas, plug your ears so you don't get this big ego about you. But, at the Mugen Challenge, I mean, I knew obviously I know Douglas. He dominated my touring car at the Canadian Nats, but I hadn't watched him race off road in a good 2-3 years because of the COVID deal. And I mean, he was just nasty at LCRC. I mean, he TQ'd E-Truggy. He had like a 5-second crash with traffic, and he TQ'd E-Truggy about like 8 seconds over really good guys. Like, I'm just going to name off a few names that are really good in that class, like David Harvey, Brett Butter. I believe Thomas Kaufman ran. Gavin Gidler probably ran that weekend. These are good. These are guys that I race with every time I go down there. And he just laid whips to them. First time he'd been to LCRC in what, 3 years, I think? I think he was at Mugen.
Over 3 years, yeah.
So, first of all, that kid is just filthy. Him and I ran very close together in an e-buggy qualifier, so I can have a little feather in my cap knowing that I gave him a run anyway. But
nice.
He is truly talented, and I'm just proud to be able to keep up with him because it ain't going to be much longer before he just leaves me in the dust. So it was really cool, and I hope they can get back down to the Rumble next year, and we can do a little wheel-to-wheel battling as well. So shout out to Douglas, and man, that's so cool that he's doing as well as he is. He deserves everything he gets.
Absolutely. And the cool thing is the support that he's getting from his dad is next level. And I know that they're looking at doing big things in 2023. And I just hope to be a part of it. And it is going to be an epic season for him, no matter where this kid lands. Obviously.
And a shameless plug here, Douglas, if you had ever had any interest in joining the Team Tekin roster, it's no questions asked. Just send me a message and we'll hook you up, brother. Because
I would hook him up too. Oh yeah, the kid is just dynamite. Whatever he runs, and not only that, he was jumping from pit to pit to pit at the Brian DeClaire race this weekend, helping out like the newbies, helping out this kid, helping out that kid, making sure that everybody was running to their full potential. And it didn't matter what type vehicle they had. It didn't have to be techno. It didn't have to be this, that, or the other. He was just down to help. And it was so super cool. And like I said earlier in the show, when he was helping out Johnny Rocket with the nitro, running it up, Johnny's like running like they're all flailing. Like they had no clue what the heck was going on. It was the cutest thing ever. And they still killed it.
Yeah, Douglas does stuff like that all the time, man. At Mugen Challenge, it's crazy that he helps out everybody as much as he does because he was helping out the whole Canada crew. You know, Tim and Kyle were there, and all the the Robinson boys and a few guys from Canada were there at Mugen Challenge. And this kid, I mean, he's got 3 of his own cars to worry about, and he's out there pitting cars, and you know, I think he volunteer marshaled a few times, and I mean, he comes to hang out at my pit. And he's just kind of sitting there chilling and asking if I need any help. And, you know, it's so cool that it doesn't matter what brand you run. It doesn't matter who you are. Douglas is just that kind of person that you really look for in terms of, you know, joining a team. And I'm going to segue this into the comment that I saw from John McDonald. That's what we're looking for from a Team Tekin driver is not just the guy that wears the logo on the shirt, not just the guy that puts the sticker on his body, or the hashtag Tekin in the race reports. You got to have people on the team that are invested and they care about representing the team in a positive way. And when you have somebody like Douglas that does it without being asked and just jumps in and helps, that's exactly what we're looking for in a driver. And that just goes for anything, any company, where Douglas is one of the big ones that I think is a big role model, especially as the future in terms of the next 10, 15 years in this hobby. However long he stays with it, the sky's the limit for him. And
I agree.
You know, he's a good representative of what companies are looking for in a driver. That's how I strongly feel.
That's why I put John's question up there, because he said, like, what are people looking for? Like, what do you look for sponsoring? And I believe that Douglas is the whole package. You guys seen all the young kids following him. You seen Steve's kids throwing his buggy on, making sure it's all put right and stuff like that. And it's because he's like the people's champ. Let's face it, that kid is the fastest in Ontario.
Oh yeah.
He's going into Quebec, trying to dominate in Quebec. I know he was too busy killing it at Wicked Weekend, so he couldn't battle the Quebec guy there, Damon Laramie. Damon. So it's
Oh,
just a
all
matter
the
of time.
guys are strong. The Bago guys are scary. They have a strong team. Yes, they do.
Strong team. Yeah, it's definitely super cool. So Douglas helps everyone. I'm really impressed with how he has been maturing and carrying himself. He has certainly been
Agreed.
gaining my respect. Yeah, no, 100%. Helping people is all part of our heart. You know what, Matt? And it was awesome because everybody had a few issues with the track at Spark. They had a couple broken parts, and everybody came through to make sure that you could finish out. Because you don't want to have somebody travel for 2.5+ hours to race and be taken out from a freaking $9 AR. Like, are you kidding me? Somebody's going to step up and help you out. And that's why I love this hobby. It's all about getting that person out on the track so you can beat them legitly. That's what I said.
Absolutely, and you said it right on the head. And shout out to Matt for posting that comment as well. We all like to go for our own individual achievements and put it on the race report that we won or that we finished third or whatever. But what really sticks in people's heads is that first or second impression of how you help somebody and how you treated them when nobody was looking, quote unquote. Where you have that you do it out of the kindness of your heart, not just because people are watching you, and that's a strong indicator of somebody that is really worthy of being on a team. People I feel like have it kind of messed up where for nowadays in the contract customer era, everybody's just kind of used to getting that sponsorship. And I feel like there should be some emphasis put back on, people that really are invested in this hobby, that care about helping other people and just overall helping the hobby grow. Not laughing at the guy that's struggling, but instead saying, "Hey, can I help you out?" And that's such a big
Right.
part of keeping this hobby alive and in the new generation in this game where Douglas is young enough where he's got the following. Like you saw it, you see it as much as I do. He's got kids following him around everywhere at O Town, and it's so cool because
It is
it's
cool.
so well deserved. And
Yeah.
I mean, when you were at Canadian Nats, when I called Douglas's Mod TC main, can you agree that was the loudest I've ever heard a crowd react at a race like that? I mean, he
Dude,
is people's champ, dude. Like
it was awesome. It
people.
was awesome.
There's just so many people that are truly happy for him and rooting for him, and I'm one of his biggest fans. He may not want to embrace that because we race each other and we're teammates, but I'm one of his biggest fans, and I will always root for him, even if he beats me. I still am happy for him. So,
Oh yeah, like when he just put a clinic on his short bus, I kind of expected it, and it was all for fun.
yeah,
And he was right beside me on the driver's stand, and his tire like actually fell off. Like he drove the wheels off this thing, and I kept threatening him all throughout the event. I got a 7 millimeter wrench. I'm gonna loosen all your wheel nuts. And sure as shit, one fell off. I'm like, I looked at him. I'm like, it wasn't me. He's like, I know. He's like, I know. He's like, I was just driving it too hard. But it was awesome. Oh, this is a good one. With your announcing level getting to where it's at, what do you like better, announcing or racing?
oh, come on, Brandon. He's giving me all the tough questions. How am I supposed to answer that one? I'm such an addict for this hobby that I gotta answer it this way, Brandon. I like the balance. I like where I can take a week or two and just sit on the sidelines, if you will, and be involved in it. And really, I just have the best seat in the house, and I'm able to just kind of make my commentary based on being such an avid race fan. Like there were some really good races at O Town this year where I just felt like a fan with a microphone in my hand. Like it was so cool where all the genuine reactions that you see from me and the calls that I make, none of that stuff is scripted. This is all genuine, just super enthusiastic about the race. Like I'm just gonna point out for the fact, like one race that was, I think it was in the B of Nitro Buggy. And I mean, I saw this coming from 10 minutes away where Tommy G was just starting to dig in and run down Capello.
Capello, I knew it. Yeah.
And I hate to bring this up for Capello if he's tuning in, but this
Yeah.
was such a cool thing where I'm like kind of calling this whole scene where it's like Tommy G, he's 8 seconds back, he's cut 4 seconds down, and he makes a pass with like 45 seconds to go. You kind of set those moments up, and I'm so blessed to be able to have that kind of free reign where John believes in me and everybody that's giving me opportunities, they believe in me to kind of run the program and let the scene kind of set itself, and I just kind of narrate it. And it's really cool in that mindset where I love the announcing part of it because you get to create those moments, those kind of Game 7 World Series moments. But on
Yeah.
the same time, I do love my racing, man. I have so much fun on the racetrack, but not just on the racetrack. One thing I miss when I announce is I miss the banter and the general chatter in the pits. And I obviously I do what I can to stop down and say hi to everybody. But when you're up there announcing, you miss a lot of that. So I try to have the balance. I love it. I love it all. I think the racing is purely just a bonus, and the time I get to spend hanging out with my friends is very well worth it. So Brandon, I love them both. I wouldn't trade either for the world. I think I have a really good balance right now. And if I feel the need to race more, I'll just race a little more. And if I feel the need to announce more, I'll just announce a little more. I like having that freedom to kind of, I guess you call pick and choose a little bit with what I want to do. And I'm a pretty lucky guy. So.
Dude, that was an awesome answer. And I didn't realize, but yeah, you're right. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm known to smack talk a little bit, and I'll go to like everybody's pits and just rile everybody up. I don't mind poking the
That's
bear
part of
here.
it. That's a huge part of it, and that's what I missed when you were there and when Fab Vet was there, where you guys do all the video and the graphic imaging and stuff, and the general pit chatter, is something I miss. And I love doing the Nitro Blast. Don't get me wrong. That's just one thing that I want to do a few more Otter Cup races just to get that kind of racing and banter talk back. Is I just like I like being a part of that all, and obviously John's got a sick track too, so
Oh man, yeah.
it's super cool.
But it definitely comes off as very genuine because like you can see and hear the excitement in your voice for sure, and that makes it like next level for us too. But came in with confidence and do exactly what I want done for the Racers. Excellent work. Yeah, no, he definitely made the event, and people are still talking about the Nitro Blast. It was the biggest race since COVID in Ontario, if not Canada. I know it was definitely pulled off with the it was a good time all from start to stop. We were able to get it in weather wise. Everything worked out to the way it was supposed to, and it was awesome having you on the mic, controlling the show. It definitely was super cool. Being able to race with Brandon and having him actually work on his stuff. I swear to God, I've never actually seen that because he's normally in your position. So to see him actually be able to make the show and try and do battles, that was cool to have him as that part of the team. But
Yeah.
biggest race in history.
For sure. And to go back to Brandon's comment, I appreciate the offer to cover me. Brandon, I do appreciate it. And it's good to have a good secondary guy because he holds it down whenever I need some help. And trust me, Brandon, I'll be utilizing you for some of the Otter Cup races next season because I definitely want to be a racer for a couple of times. But the Nitro Blast, John asked me to do a job, and that's my job, and I just can't wait to do it again. It was I try to stick to either doing full announcing or full racing. That way I can give 110% on what I'm doing on both. You can't. I don't think you can competitively race per se if you're announcing the whole show, and that's why I don't want to have that situation where I'm like, man, I could really go rebuild my diffs right now, but I have to announce. I'd rather just not be in that position where I'd rather just be a racer for the weekend or be an announcer for the weekend. And I think that's just part of being of showing professionalism too, is committing to the job or the hobby. There's two sides to it. And obviously I have a bunch of fun in the job side, but there's still a point where I draw the line and say, I have to work this weekend. This is my job. John asked me to do a job and I got to do it to the absolute best of my ability. So, to kind of segue off what Brandon was saying, thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate you always cover me when I need it. And I can't wait to do some racing and some announcing at O-Town next year. The 2023 is going to be a big year for O-Town, I think, just in Canada in general.
Agreed. It's John is truly stepping it up. He has a wicked plan, and like you said, to have over 200 entries with only 4 classes is just a testament to how well his facility is ran and the passion that he puts into it. All of us racers benefit from what John does in a big way. The one thing that I gotta say is that the worst is yet to come, because we have an entire electric race coming up, which is going to be sick for all of my Tekin stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But that's coming up in 2 short weeks. And then we're on to the big finale there. So it should be good.
That's awesome. I just want to shout out John again. That's, first of all, O-Town, the Nitro Blast was so cool this year. And I want to apologize to the couple of guys that came late. I think there were a couple of guys. I know Mike Sloat was one of them. And I'm trying to remember, Eric Raymond was one of them too. They were trying to play the bump game, and there were so many e-buggy races and so many nitro buggy races that I had to run them back to back to back to back to back, and they handled it like champs. They had batteries ready, they were marshaling, they were getting people to help them. That's stuff that's really cool, and I feel bad I got to do stuff like that, but it really takes a team effort for those guys to make it happen, and I know they bumped up pretty far. They got a lot of track time for just showing up on Sunday. And the electric race, I think, is going to be awesome. I really hope all the guys show up and show good support for that, because there needs to be more of that. Like, we have a lot of great nitro races, but I feel like there is a cool side to just having an all-electric race. It's a little more quiet. It's almost like I told you with the U.S. Indoor Champs, where it's a little more quiet, so people are kind of working on their stuff, and it's more mellow, but it's still a serious atmosphere where people are trying to go fast. And I do like that John's re-pursuing that idea. So just my personal endorsement, guys. Make sure you show some support to John and Carla in the track. That's probably the last hurrah when it comes to good electric racing before it gets too cold. But it also, I know John's got that enduro going on too. So make sure you guys have your cars ready, because he's gonna keep doing some cool stuff. I wanted to announce that race. I feel so terrible, and I can't do it because we're actually doing our first PRW oval race that same weekend, the Kickoff Classic, and I would love to go out there and hang out with you guys, but I have a commitment back home, and just gotta focus on work. Duty calls,
Yeah, gotta balance. Well, yeah, no, it's gonna be epic for sure. John's got a whole bunch of tricks up his sleeve, and he's just been killing it for the community as a whole. And for an old guy, he can still wheel. He was the only other one on the property to hit the 13 lapper, and I thought Andrew was going to do it, Bukhar, and he was basically like tweaking stuff. And he was telling John, and John's like, well, I don't need to do that. And he was right, because he was already ahead of him. So it was kind of like a nice little friendly dig. I don't need to do stuff to be faster.
It was so cool at O-Town watching him throw those big whips, and I feel so terrible. He had that one incident on the front straight where that kind of knocked him out, but he was top 5 caliber in E-Truggy with that stacked field with like Siller and Kevin Carbonneau. Shout out to Kevin with the KCRC hat. Nice. It was a loaded field in E-Truggy, so it's so cool to see John liking the new cars. It's really neat. And I hope the electric race is a wild success, because I think there needs to be more of that, where you shout out the electric guys, because let's be honest here, the nitro guys always get their track time. Like, they always get what they need in terms of run time with a 30-minute main or a 45-minute main or whatever have you. But sometimes the electric guys get a little less time. And I think an electric specific race is cool. It allows some nitro guys to say, I'll throw my e-buggy down, why not? It allows them to kind of take a cool change of pace, and I hope that all the hardcore nitro guys show their support for the electric side as well, because it's definitely much needed, I think.
Agreed, because honestly, I don't know what the reason is, but if you look at the Roar fuel mats, it sells out instantly. And then you look at the electric e-nats, and it's like crickets. I don't get it. Like, is it the weekends they pick, or like, I just think that
I think it's a mix of things, to be honest with you, Adam. I think that the date is kind of tough. I know that this year, obviously, I was very blessed to call the Nets this year out of GSRC. But it was on the same weekend as that Visions race in Oklahoma, and
That's why.
and Farmers had their Big Apple Challenge that weekend as well. So there were three tracks that were kind of competing for entries. So that's the first thing. I think that the Fuel Nats has that kind of, I guess we'll call it prestige, where everybody wants to win the Fuel Nats. And that's obviously a big crown for somebody like a Mayfield or a Dakota Fenn or a Joe Bornhorst. Going to shout out Joe for the S-Works and the Tekin. But you think about things like that where that's a huge crown jewel for those guys. Obviously, an electric one is too, but I feel like there's less hype and promotion around the electric Nats, and you can't really blame, I guess, because the Fuel Nats is like their marquee national event. But I do think that I do believe that all events should get their fair share of shine. They should all get love. So I would love to see a little bit more promotion on the Roar side, just to overall get more people to show up, because the E-Nats this year were awesome, man.
Awesome.
Pretty good races. I mean, between Fenn and Cavalieri and T. Jones and Bornhorst and Sousa was killing it. There were so many fast guys at those races, and the racing was so awesome that I think the E-Nats could be big if they just gave it a bit more of a push. That's just my humble opinion. No negativity meant by that at all. I would love to see the E-Nats be at the same level as the Nitro Nats, because it should be. It's the E-Nats are awesome, I think.
Agreed. I'm a little biased. I got my short bus sitting right here, but watching Tater and Cavalieri and Fenn run with short course, dude, they were crushing it. They were
don't forget Aaron.
Track. Huh?
Don't forget Aaron Kothman too. He was in there too.
Yeah, I forgot that he ran the short bus too. Yeah. But like
he was flying.
Oh, dude, flying out there, man. They looked awesome. All of them were running TLRs too, right?
Yes, all top four were all TLR, and then Kyle Loy was running fifth. He's a really quick local at G's. He also races at LCRC. Super nice dude, really fast. I don't know what he was running for a truck. It didn't look like a low C, but he didn't have any stickers on it. It may have been a Techno, but I didn't know what was under the hood. But either way, shout out to Kyle, because he was bad fast in that class as well.
Right. Yeah. I was surprised that Dakota was able to pull it off again, but he is the true 4x4 short course champ. Like, I still remember him being a kid. His mom was there, and we were at his home track, which was Addictive Motorsports in Grand Blanc. Shout out to Mike and Tater, his dad, and all that, for putting on a great race track facility, everything. But what I did was, I was an adult, so this kid goes and asks his mom, "Hey, Mom, can this guy try my truck?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, sure, go ahead." I'm like, I don't know this Dakota Fenn kid, right? So gives me his orange and blue short course, custom paint scheme to him, right? Dark side design and all that. So I throw it on. I walk up to the thing. I literally did the first jump, walked back down the stairs, came back and gave him back the controller. I'm like, holy hell. Like, this thing is like ridiculously overpowered. And this kid would just destroy like everybody, every adult in there. You would see this kid holding the top prize. It was awesome.
That's so cool, because I didn't know this until recently. I actually talked at pretty good length with Dakota at E-Nats. He's only 24, so he's actually a little younger than I am, and he is so incredibly good. And I'll say this to anybody till I'm blue in the face. I truly think that Dakota Fenn is the fastest man on four wheels. At any given time, I think he is the fastest man in the world. And he was the only guy, other than Ronafalk, to have something for Ongaro at the Worlds. I truly think that Fenn, if he wouldn't have had those problems going into the semis, he probably would have been a huge threat to win, because he showed the pace all weekend long, and he's just I can't explain it. I watched it in person at the E-Nats, but I also watched it on video at PNB this past year. There's not many people in this world that can just turn up the pace so far where they are 0.7 a lap faster than a guy like Ryan Mayfield. It doesn't happen. And he is just so nasty behind the wheel of one of these cars that I truly believe if I need a hot lap, like if it's gun to my head and I need somebody to run me a hot lap to save my life, I want Dakota Fenn. He is that fast on with a radio in his hands that I think he is at any given time the fastest dude in the world.
Okay, so one of the reasons why I like the Phenom so much is because he's been Team TLR forever.
Loyalty.
Rumor has it he might not be with TLR after this season. And I'm like blown away if there's even any truth to that whatsoever. Blown
Silly
away.
season, man. Silly season. It's going to get crazy.
Hey, I'm like actually cooking the popcorn as we speak. I cannot wait. I think it's going to be pretty crazy, and looking forward to it. But man, that is if there's any truth to those rumors, that is going to be the biggest move. I don't think there'd be a bigger name that can move than Dakota Fenn. They all laugh when I pick Fenn for
that
the
could be
top
on that
three.
same stratosphere is Mayfield, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can't see Mayfield leaving Mugen unless he has to get a 10 scale combo deal or something like that. But
Yeah.
I think him being so entrenched with Adam Drake that I think he's pretty comfortable with the whole Mugen regime. And I think that they're willing to up the ante to keep him because let's face it, Mayfield's at the top of his game right now as well. And I think that he is definitely a force to be reckoned with at any event he signs up for. Let's face it. He's a top.
100% agree with you. And I wish continued success for him. Absolutely. That's so cool that, that both those guys, Fenn and Mayfield, have reached that level where I honestly would put those two as 1 and 2 in the U.S. when it comes to, if you're picking somebody to win a race. So
Yeah.
Can I butt in for 1 sec? I want to
Yeah.
answer Brandon because he had asked this. I think this is the second time he asked it. Brandon, thanks so much for inquiring about CRC. For those of you that don't know, CRC had a bit of a fire issue. We think it was a battery that just that went haywire. It was after business hours. So they just posted an update a few hours ago. The whole inside of the building has been gutted down to nothing, down to the studs. And the plan is to start rebuilding very, very soon in terms of putting some new concrete on the floor. We're going to make the track a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. So it should be a little more run line in total. And it's just a whole revamp of the store. I don't want to speak on behalf of Frank and the crew because I'm not working there. I don't have the full insider info, but it's looking good. It looks like progress is moving along, and we should be back indoors hopefully very soon. So, thanks Brandon for inquiring. We can't wait to get back inside. I definitely need to sharpen up my on-road skills. I'm probably going to go to NYGP with with no track time at all and just kind of wing it, but. Definitely excited for CRC to get back up and running. So I have a place to call home. Obviously, very grateful for having a track so close and such a high caliber facility. So can't wait to get back going there. So I don't have an exact ETA for you, but it's looking good. Things are moving forward.
Nice. Now, obviously, they're the manufacturers of all the tires that everybody runs for foam and all that too, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so
Holy.
luckily, we count our lucky stars here because the fire was in the hobby shop area, and luckily the manufacturing is done separately in the smaller building out front. So the carbon manufacturing shouldn't have any hiccups. The aluminum shipments should not have any issues. So production of cars and parts and materials shouldn't have any terms of any real hiccups. It just comes down to filling orders and getting local things that people need. Like, if somebody needs to stop down to the hobby shop, the store is currently not in operation, but we can still get things that people need. So we're kind of working there. I say we, like I'm employed there, but I still hold CRC near and dear. They're working hard at accommodating people, and we're looking really good in terms of getting back going for indoor season. I don't have a time frame, but hopefully sooner rather than later, because I can't wait to get back in there and start showing support.
Heck yeah, no, that's awesome, man. Especially you can tell you're passionate about that place, and it's your home track, bud. Like that.
That's
That
right.
is kick ass. Yeah, man, for sure. What is the major difference between Hobby Wing and Tekin? Because I've been trying to get John to get off the the hobby wing stuff to go out with Tekin. But obviously, he's got all the programmers, he's got all the stuff. He's been running hobby wing for a while now, so I get it.
Well, and John's kind of put me behind the eight ball here because I haven't run Hobbywing products in a few years now, so I don't know, what their main updates and upgrades in terms of what they've done versus what I ran last. So I'm not going to be your typical, loyalist fanboy type and say Hobbywing sucks, it's junk, it's whatever. Listen, Hobbywing make great products. Obviously, they have a good reputation. They know what they're doing. I have nothing but respect for the group at Hobbywing in terms of Ron Schur and Charlie Swanka and the whole group down there. I just personally prefer Tekin products for the feel and for the, I guess you'd call it, more family-like atmosphere you receive. Because Jim and Ty, I mean, they're great people, and they're super knowledgeable. And anything you have questions on, you can send an email to or send us a message or do whatever. My inbox is always open. Listen, I don't know every single thing there is to know about products, but if I don't know the answer, I'm sure it's not going to find you the answer. So, it comes down to, I feel like the personalized support is there. I think the products are spot on. I love every single product that I run from Team Tekin. No complaints at all. And they're always looking to improve. Jim and Tyra are always looking for feedback on what they can do better and, customer feedback and what the team feedback is. There's just a lot of, I guess you call it, personalization in the company. And that's where I feel really at home and why, I've said this a few times to a few friends I'm talking to. It's very easy to represent a company like that where you believe in the products, you believe in the staff, and it's very easy to represent that brand when you're not having to try and forcefully sell something. It's just something you want to share with your friends because you think it's a great deal. And I love all my Tekin products wholeheartedly. I have no complaints about anything. And the durability, for people that are worried about durability, I am the durability tester. I have had one problem in just over 3 years of running Tekin products. I should be the standard in terms of what breaks and what doesn't. So, I have nothing but good things to say about Tekin and the company. I'm very, very happy with where I'm at.
I think my kids got you beat for the durability montage, though. They definitely know how to beat on their stuff. But no, it's so true. And if you look honestly at my short bus, and I was showing off the electronics earlier before you were on the show, and basically it has been actually I think it's still it's shoegooed in. It's been in here since the Gen 3 came out. Like that's how long this Tekin stuff has been in here, and you guys seen it is still pretty competitive. It's got some horsepower under the hood, and I couldn't be happier with it. Now, a little segue into it. I did try the 4300, and I felt that for the torque, infinitely better. But for the tunability and using the software of the RX8 Gen 3, having my 4600, little programming action, loved it. I feel like I just get a little bit more out of it. Oh, look at Kevin is talking about your hat.
I knew he was going to tune in at some point.
Nice.
Good to hear from Kevin. He's super cool and he was kind of holding up the flag for techno at the Nitro Blast this year. So he ran great, and the hat is super comfortable. I've been wearing it everywhere, and I appreciate it. It's a nice hat. And make sure you guys check out KCRC for any custom products you're looking for. I know Kevin is very good with the 3D printing, and there's a lot of things that he can do for you in terms of custom designs. So make sure you check out his page and let him know that I sent you because I'm a very, very big fan of Mr. KCRC.
Hey, throw the link up there, Kev, for sure.
That's right. Plug it.
Yep, plug it. The Tekin servos are pretty strong. The combination of all three, motor, ESC, and servo, is a nice race package.
Yes. I'm going to steal this thunder from you, Adam, for a second because Jonathan had said something too when he was talking about his nitro truggy or his e-buggy build. And I want to say the same thing that Jonathan said. The servos are like a hidden gem. People don't know about these things yet. And I run them in everything that I have. My e-buggies, my nitro buggy. My 12 scale actually runs mini servos, so they're not quite the right size. But in terms of like when I actually build a 10 scale car, it's going to be the full Tekin lineup. And the Tekin servos, they're bulletproof. They got that full aluminum case. The wire is super super strong, so it's not gonna fray and break on you. It's really good quality stuff, and the gears are so smooth in these things. Where the nice thing with not having any center is you don't need to worry about sub trim. You can literally say this is where I want my center to be in the hot wire, and click center, and it's there, and you don't have to worry about it. So John, I would definitely say try the servos out if you're going to go with the full Tekin package. I think that the servos are fantastic, and it sounds so BS like when you say this, but you just feel so connected to your car, and the steering feels so precise with them. And I can't explain in like good terms of how much different it felt from when I used to run a Savox servo, but it just feels so predictable where you can put the car on the track, and I think that it's definitely worth a shot. Don't let the price tag scare you, because the MKSs and the ProTechs are all the same price, and I haven't heard great things about ProTech. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't want to go bashing companies. I'm just going off of what my friends say, and I have not had a problem with the Tekin servo. They have been absolutely fantastic in my time using them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, when he told me about it when I was on the team, they weren't introduced to the public yet. And he's all like, I've been watching your short course. He's like, you're kind of good. He's like, you want to try 250? I'm like, heck yeah. Because I was running the Savex. Actually, you want to know how old it was? I was running the Savex 1257. That's how old the servo was in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
Able to throw the Tekin in there, you're right. I did feel instantly connected with it, and it was awesome. I love my Tekin servos, and I'll never go back. I hate trying to set up a new yeah, no, honestly, John, you plug it into the hot wire and you just hit the set button, and you'll see it'll automatically calculate wherever you have it set up in your vehicle. It could be for the throttle, it could be for your steering. Either one, you plug it in, you hit the set center button, and it automatically calculates it for you. Another cool option in the software that Jared was kind of alluding to was you can set the counterclockwise rotation to 60 degrees and clockwise to 60 degrees, or whatever increment you possibly can throw at this thing, it'll take it. And you can change the feel. It's got different feelings, and there's mild, hard, and soft. There's also torque settings that you can manipulate inside the software as well. Having the hot wire is another reason why these servos are so phenomenal. So not only do you get the tuning capabilities from your Gen 8 or RX8 Gen 3, not Gen 8, Gen 3, you can actually start tuning the the servos as well. It's super cool.
I'm right there with you, man. That's a great way to wrap it up there, because these servos are just so programmable, and Tekin has a way of doing this where it's like, wow, I didn't even know that you could change that, or I didn't even know where I could use this, and Tekin just has this way of keeping every single group in mind, of like crawling and racing, and even the basher mindset where excuse me. I know there was a setting where like it'll knock the torque down if like it senses like a rock is caught in your servo or something, and it's like binding your servo saver or your servo horn, and it'll automatically cut power so it doesn't burn out your servo. And there's things like that you may not specifically use in a race setting, but it's really really useful in terms of just overall preserving the life of the servo. And I think that it's such a cool feature that the hot wire allows you to do all those things. And I think as a racer, especially an off-road racer, the two things you're looking for are comfort and predictability. And when you have those two going free at the same time, I really don't think there's any better solution in terms of an off-road vehicle, knowing where your car is going to go every time you turn the wheel. I think that's very important.
So John was asking, is the programming user-friendly? Now, I definitely feel it is, but I've come up in the hot wire programming environment. I have seen the Hobby Wing stuff because of you, John, and because of my buddy Andy. But as far as when I'm at the track, I like to do it on my phone now. So I actually only use the laptop now for software updates and or when I'm doing a brand new build and I'm trying to do the servo setting initially. After that, it's pretty much Bluetooth for me. And I feel that the Bluetooth is extremely easy, very user friendly. And the settings that I typically change are going to be the torque setting on the throttle and the timing in the custom profile. I pretty much bounce between those two because once I get the frequency to where I like it for the braking and for my throttle feel, I typically stick to that feeling because it's a personal thing. And what's cool is you can find that sweet spot for yourself as well, and it is really easy to switch back and forth between.
Yeah, I'm fully in agreement with you, Adam, and I do believe, when we're talking about this to John, is even if you have questions with the hot wire, obviously I am so happy to help whenever I can. I know you will do the same.
Yeah.
John, when you get a second, if you want to do some more research on this stuff before you just go off buying stuff, check out Tekin's YouTube channel where Ty actually makes all these videos in the Tekin clinic, and he shows like
Yes.
every single step of how you can set feel on a servo, how you can set endpoints, and he does all the speed control walkthroughs, and there's so many good videos that show you how to use this software. Where if I'm not available right away, or if Adam's not available right away, or somebody can't immediately assist you like on message or a video call, those videos have helped me out multiple times in terms of like, oh crap, do I press bind or do I press connect? And you can see what it does. And Ty does such a great job on those videos where they're super easy to follow. And I do believe that you're correct in the fact that I don't use the computer very much unless it's for like a software update to 291 or if
Right.
it's using the servo settings off the initial build. I usually do a lot of the stuff on the Bluetooth. If you need to view a data log, it does need to be on a computer, but we are looking to try and possibly include data logs in future Bluetooth versions, especially for iOS. I know it was kind of a problem for that, but we are working on that.
Yeah, and I know that's a huge thing for all my drag racing buddies that'll be tuning in later. It is a huge step. What it was, from what I've been told from Ty and Jim, it's the privileges that you need to access the data from your phone on the communication port. So they're looking into it. I know it's next level stuff and programming, so I hope they can pull it off, but that would be next level to get data acquisition software on your phone handheld. That, to me, especially with the drag racing, you guys know I'm down with the drag racing scene right now. I'm loving the no prep stuff, and to have that option, I'm chomping at the bits for it. So hopefully they can pull that one up. Guys, I definitely kept Jared on board longer than I thought. It was only supposed to be for an hour. Man, you guys definitely made the show awesome. Is there anybody you would like to thank before we cut you loose, bud?
Oh man, I got to think of it. This is going to be another 20 minutes in terms of thanking people, but I want to thank you especially for having me on the Ross Racing Show. It's always a pleasure, and I hope that this isn't my quota. I hope we can do many more shows in the future and just kind of keep up the tabs and keep a good correspondence going. So thank you personally. I really enjoy being on the show and just being able to chat it up. Obviously, it doesn't have to be on a show. You can give me a call anytime. We can catch up, but I do appreciate the live video. It's pretty sweet when you got that little intro at the start, so I do appreciate the cool little graphics there. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I know we had actually quite a few watchers tonight, so it was pretty cool to get all these different comments and answer some questions you guys had. I had a great time doing that. I just want to thank everybody that keeps this program going, man. I'm so grateful for all the people that keep me going in this crazy hobby. Not only the companies I represent, but all the people that help me along the way. I'm just super grateful in terms of the support system that I have. It's super cool to have all the people behind me that I do. So obviously, I want to thank first of all Team Tekin. They're a big supporter of me. Super excited to represent the company, and I just can't wait for all the good things to happen in the future here. I want to thank Techno RC, Proline Racing, CRC, Pemberton Raceworks, Carpy's Custom Screen Printing, and JTPRC as my personal sponsors, and all the people that help me throughout this hobby, not just in terms of companies, but the people that I meet along the way, and all the good friends I see at the track, because it's always like a warm welcome and a family reunion when you get back to the track. So just really grateful. I'm super happy with how things are going in life, and just looking to keep these good vibes going, man. I'm just stoked on life right now.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Okay, so Chris has an actual good question. I'll let him sneak it in there. And he wants to know what's a good servo for TC. I know what my personal opinion is, but I'm dying to hear what you think.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, there's so many good options in terms of what you're looking for in terms of torque and speed. But anything of the T1 variety, like the T120, the 130, or the 180, I think would be great recommendations. If I was gonna suggest one in terms of what you're looking for, I think the 180 is a good choice, honestly.
I think that's a good choice as well.
There you go.
But
See?
yeah, I'm getting ready. I got the Mugen NTC2. Going to be
Sweet.
busting that out again this season. Looking forward to it. I definitely had a lot of fun. And obviously, being blessed with racing with Rob Say, past Canadian champ, that guy is so knowledgeable and helpful. And he definitely made it fun for me going out to the track and being competitive at that next level. I just can't wait because you guys know who you are, Brandon, Brian. You guys are rocking it right now. Wesley, opening up a local indoor track in our area is not an easy feat, and I appreciate what you guys are doing for the hobby, and I'm looking forward to supporting you guys. You know what? The end of October can't come soon enough. We got two more big races up in O-Town, and we're going to have fun there first and then put these dirt cars away and just focus on some on-road fun, and definitely looking forward to seeing you guys because you know what? Some of you guys only race the on-road stuff, and I definitely miss hanging out with you guys as well, and looking forward to doing that again soon. So, Jared, man, dude, I love having you on the show. We'll definitely have to do it again. And hopefully we'll have like an announcement, John Blakely on the team or something like that. But we'll have to work on him for that one. And thank you for being on board, bud. And we will see you next time.
Hey man, thanks very much for everything. I do appreciate it. Anybody that has questions for me in terms of joining the Team Tekin team, I said team twice, but if you guys are interested in joining Tekin, send me a personal message. We do have an application as well as a resume we'd want you to send in to that would be the sponsorship at teamtekin.com email address. Otherwise, it just comes down to a kind of a case-by-case basis where if you feel like you're a good candidate and you want to represent the team, and like we had mentioned earlier, you're looking to be more than just the logo on the shirt. Let's talk. I'm definitely looking forward to growing this team and making it as great as we can have it with a bunch of great representatives. And I'm just happy to be a part of this thing and keep it going. So feel free to shoot me a message. My personal Tekin email is jared@teamtekin.com. And anything I do to help, I'm here for it. So thanks, guys, for your support. And thank you, Adam, again. So much fun being on the show here.
Absolutely. And, dude, I think that Tekin lucked out in getting you. I'm looking forward to doing some more work with you. And, honestly, this coming Nitro Blast, I think, is going to be epic. And I was so stoked that he was on board to help support with stuff like that because – let's face it, in the States, they get a lot of support from the manufacturers and sponsors and stuff like that. In Canada, not so much, but I would like to slowly change that, and I'm going to start chipping away at all my sponsors and trying to get that to the next level because you want to make sure that people go home with a smile and start blowing it up on social media, and that's how you get the numbers built up every other year. You just keep going and steamrolling it, and you know what? Having you on board as a new manager, it's going to be lights out. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do with that stuff. Having Wheeler on the other coast is awesome as well. I think you two are going to just be phenomenal. And, I already know what the sport was capable of, and then having you two is just going to take it to the next level. So congratulations on your spot, and we will definitely have you on the show again shortly.
All right, Adam. Thanks very much, guys. Everybody have a great night, and hopefully you guys have a good week at work here.
All right. See you, bud.
See ya.
All right, man. I got to thank Jared for being on board again. That guy is so sick, man. Not only is he two-time on-road Canadian national champ, he's American coming over and just, beating on all us Canadians, but he is phenomenal, very well-spoken, and I know he's just getting his feet wet being the new Team Tekin manager, but oh my God, I'm expecting some fantastic things coming out of that camp in the near future. And like he said, guys, you don't know really if you have what it takes to be on the team. And if you feel like you got something that you can offer and can step up and be that person at the track, shoot him an email. See what you can do, because you never know. You might be the next Team Tekin driver. With that being said, I'm going to cut you guys loose, and we will see you next weekend. Cheers for now.